Good morning, it's Hannah and Heidi.
Hello. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our attitude. We're going to kind of focus a little bit on how our attitudes can be everything for us and how our attitude is towards something can really make a difference. So today our lesson is going to be a little bit on how to adjust your attitude.
Okay, so the first attitude changing approach is listening to your self-talk. So you are communicating every moment of your life, shopping, at home, even when you are by yourself, you are still communicating with yourself. When you are in conversation with somebody else, so when you're talking to somebody else, you're talking with yourself. We call this self-talk. Self-talk is the little voice that develops your thoughts, opinions, feelings, ideas, and your attitude. So the little voice in your head that tells you, oh, this is a good thing, you should be excited. Or this isn't quite right, maybe you should be a little upset. So we spend around 50 seconds of every minute listening to ourselves instead of others. That's interesting, I didn't know that.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah. If you fill your mind with negative thoughts, you'll experience a negative attitude. Fill your mind with positive thoughts, however, and you'll enjoy a positive attitude along with the good things that come with it. So if you're always thinking negative, then you're going to always be kind of in a bad mood. But if you're thinking about good things and happy things, then you're probably going to be in a better mood. If you think, I can't, then you won't. If you expect failure, you may not even try to succeed. However, if you expect to succeed, you'll work hard to achieve it.
Okay, our second approach we're going to talk about today is pursue happiness. The definition of happiness is a state of satisfaction or contentment. So that means you need to determine what makes you happy. If you feel like having $1 million will make you happy, then you may never experience true happiness. But if you were to set a goal for yourself, maybe of having a good job and being able to pay your own bills, then you would be able to achieve happiness. So somebody just giving you $1 million and you winning $1 million doesn't necessarily help you earn that true happiness. But if you were to set a goal and achieve that goal, that would be a way to help you achieve true happiness because you worked at it and you have pride and achievement in that. Some different ways to find happiness in even the most unpleasant situations. So the first way to do that is to clearly understand what you want. You need to figure out what is the most important thing to you and know what you want out of life. That's a very tough question, but it is very important. And I think here we do a lot with that. Mm-hmm. Always finding out what kind of goals you want to work on and what things you want to work out for your quality of life and how you want your life to be. Don't wait around for happiness. If you're not satisfied with your present situation, you may believe that a person or a future event will bring you happiness. So, for example, if you'd say, well, I'd be happy if I could earn more money, go to Hawaii, get married, or something like that, don't just wish your life away. Really think about what those things are that maybe are at work, that are at home, and those things that are about yourself that are good. So life isn't perfect today, and it never will be, not even tomorrow or the next day. So stop waiting for happiness to come to you. It may, unfortunately, never find you that way. Instead, you should bring yourself happiness today by adjusting your attitude. So what does that mean? That means that you should think, feel, and be happy. Another thing that you can do is tell yourself that you can get through this. So making it through a difficult situation or difficult days by remembering that the pain won't go away forever, or that pain won't last forever. To get through the healing process, you need to tell yourself that this too shall pass. You've survived things that were tough. You've survived things that were hard in the past, and that you will also survive this now and in the future. And always remember that even though you think that you have it really bad, others may have it worse. Self-pity, when you are pitying yourself and thinking that everything is very bad for you, is another form of unhappiness. So don't feel sorry for yourself because nobody else will.
Okay, this third one we're going to talk about is seek comfort with change. So one thing you can count on is change. It is always happening. It's always around us. And there is no way to avoid change. So I think COVID's a great example of that. So a lot of us used to go to the grocery store and now we don't. Some of us had to go home or move in with others and maybe have a roommate now. And I don't know, lots of change lately in what's going on. So the first thing you can do is face up to fear. Use your fear to learn and grow. Think about life as an adventure. And don't be afraid to take chances. To risk something is to think, feel, learn, grow. Be alive. So, even though change can be scary, you shouldn't fear it. You should be kind of excited for it because sometimes it's good and it can bring you different things. So the second thing is realize you will make mistakes. Part of being successful means recognizing that mistakes and failures will happen. Changing your attitude to accept mistakes will help you understand them as a natural part of change and growth. It's difficult to succeed without making at least a few mistakes. Believe it or not, winners make more mistakes than losers. So that kind of goes with don't be afraid of failing, I guess.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of that, which I know Heidi and I have both made lots of mistakes.
Every day.
Yes. Thomas Edison the guy who invented the light bulb, made 1,000 unsuccessful prototypes before finally inventing the light bulb. He said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,001 steps.
I like how he changed that process to a positive and not being so negative with trying that many times. The next one we have is thinking about your relationships. So value your relationships. It's impossible to find another person who thinks, who feels, and acts the same way that you do. Your attitude towards somebody else is greatly affected by your willingness to accept and deal with his or her similarities to yourself as well as the differences. So what that means is that there is nobody else that's going to think like you, nobody else that's going to have the exact same feelings as you do, opinions as you do, but we need to be respectful of each other. So you need to be able to be open and willing to accept somebody for the things that you have in common, as well as for the things that you don't have in common, for those differences. And that will really help with working with your attitude and having that positive attitude. This says here that Teddy Roosevelt once said that the most important single ingredient to the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Getting along with people can be very hard, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important. When two or more people share something, a relationship occurs. A relationship can last for several moments or several years. Regardless of how long it is, your attitude towards the other person affects your behavior and influences the quality of that relationship. So right now, like Hannah just said with change, we have a lot of different relationships that are happening. So maybe you don't have your work relationships anymore because we're all at home, but now you may have a roommate, you may have your family with you, siblings. Mm-hmm. There's people around all the time in smaller spaces. So these relationships may be really challenged right now. So let's think about how we can affect or how we can change our own behavior with those relationships. One of those is respect other people. I think that's huge. Mm-hmm. Respecting the other people that you're living with and that are around you every day. The next one is to forgive and forget. Forgiving is one of the greatest gifts that you can give somebody, and learning to forgive is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to yourself. And communicate your expectations. The key to any successful relationship is open and honest communication. If you communicate or tell somebody your expectations, your chances of having a successful relationship is much, much greater. So always, always remember that golden rule, to treat others as you would like to be treated.
Okay, the final attitude changing approach we're going to talk about is stop shoulding yourself. This is a very detrimental and immobilizing kind of self-talk. A voice within keeps telling you, I should have, or I shouldn't have. This kind of self-talk is called guilt. Guilt is frustration directed at yourself for something you did or did not do. Your guilt stems from your expectations for yourself. Learn to find peace with yourself. Don't look back. That's not the direction you're headed. Look ahead and plan for the future. So even if you should have done something or shouldn't have done something, it's already in the past. You can't go back and change it. So let it go, move forward, and keep it in mind for the next time that happens.
Well, I think these were all some really good ideas. So maybe what you could do today is talk about these different approaches or things that you could do. Talk about them with the people that you're with right now and work on those relationships, as well as going back and re-listening to them and maybe coming up with some ideas of how you can help change your attitude and really work on having a good positive attitude. So maybe this week when you have your Zoom with Hannah or I, you can talk to us a little bit about different ways that you work for happiness and ways that maybe you're helping to improve your self-talk and how you're just helping yourself to continue to stay positive and work on that golden rule.
Okay, I think that's all we have for you guys. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
We'll see you later.
Bye.